Hi there, it's Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder, this week's episode of the Tuesday Brewsday. A lot of you have asked for me to bring back classics from the old school Rogue Deck Builder days and bring them into historic on Arena, and I will comply. I will actually do this for this week. I'm actually mixed two archetypes that I've had a lot of fun with over the years. One of them being Soul Sisters. You can't quite do a Soul Sisters build in Historic. It's missing some key cards like the other Soul Sister. All you have is one Soul Lady in this. You don't have her sister. So Daxos is kind of awkward in this deck to build off Soul Sisters because of the 2 mana and the legendary aspect. The whole point to Soul Sisters is to get many of them and they'll trigger off each other. And I also don't like just the unmirrored aspects of Daxos where it's only if creatures enter the battlefield under your control. That's really a key component to Soul Sisters, is they're good against decks that where your opponent is putting out creatures as well. So for that reason, I don't think the Soul Sisters quite works for Historic. There's the Curator as well, the other 2-drop that can gain life on your side. But again, it's not really, that's not the whole point of Soul Sisters. You need that mirrored effect. You have Serra Ascendant, and I've played this before in Historic, but with the addition of Oketra's Monument, I thought, okay, let's just throw Oketra's Monument and a Soul Sister shell together, see what works, see what doesn't work, and we can go from there. So Historic is pretty degenerate. There's a lot of combos. There's a Goblin combos. There's a Kethis combo. There's a lot of these really, really hyper-control decks where they're playing Euro, and just Euro stacks is what I'd like to call it, just where they're playing so many Euro and then just a bunch of other stuff to enable Euro. So Soul Sisters, I think, is a little bit awkward, but it does do well versus those aggro decks, and there are plenty of aggro decks out there for Soul Sisters to really prey on. So Oketra's Monument, it really shined with the card called the Militia Bugler, and what Militia Bugler now has under its arsenal is the Skyclave Apparition. The more and more I play this card, the better, and this card is just so good, and especially in this deck where it's going to be, if it gets taken care of, it's going to create a token that is going to be outclassed by all of your threats. And so basically this is just a 3-mana removal spell that can be bounced with Charming Prince and the Aviary Mechanic. I originally had 4 Aviary Mechanics in this deck, however cut down to 2 because I'd like a more of a toolbox to then be able to blink with the Charming Prince or the Aviary Mechanic. And 2 of you still want in this deck, because if you do get 2 mechanics with the Oketra's Monument out, you can keep bouncing both mechanics and create a bunch of 1/1s. And that, surprising enough, that actually wins you a lot of games in these more it's kind of sad that these older formats are actually more fair right now than Standard. Standard seems to be the big haymaker format. And yes, there are haymakers in Historic, Modern, Pioneer, but Standard seems to have less of actually tit for tat decks where you're just, removal for removal, threat for removal. And I'm actually liking Historic more for that reason, that there is more of the matchups where you're going against like a control deck or an aggro deck where you have to really outplay your opponent with how you sequence your cards, how you play your removal, how you play against your opponent's removal, rather than just throwing things like Ugins out and Genesis Ultimatums and Embercleaves and cards like that I think are just really, really bad design cards. And like the best way to describe them is just haymakers. You answer them, you win. You don't, you lose. So I am not interested in really playing those formats. How I'm hoping with, if you actually look at it though, it's mainly Throne of Eldraine. Once Throne of Eldraine rotates out of Standard, I think Standard White opens up like crazy. Throne was a huge mistake. We have like 8 cards banned out of Throne. It's huge. And we still have like layers of cards that are still problems with the best in slots ever printed. So let's just wait till next September, I guess, before that is, and have some fun with Historic. I'll still play Standard from time to time. There actually was a card I was looking at while I was researching cards for Soul Sisters, the Griffin card out of Zendikar. I think that card's actually playable in Standard. Very similar feel to the card I've been messing around with the Roost, which I actually think that it might have a little more of an ability to be able to be triggered, and I'm going to be brewing a deck with that for Standard. But I don't know if it's going to be able to beat like Ugins and these other all-in type strategies, haymaker type strategies in Standard. But we'll give it a whirl nonetheless. All right, so onto the deck tech. We are going to be running some 1-drops here, some toolbox fills. One of the Life's Bounty with the 4 Serra's Ascendants, 4 Soulward, and a Speaker of the Heavens. This gives our Ranger of Eos some targets to grab. I did originally have more Rangers in here. I've cut down to one because Ranger in this deck is just strictly worse than the Militia Bugler. The Bugler can get the Skyclave Apparition, which I think is much better for the deck, or for what we're trying to do. What we're really trying to answer our opponent's big threats with the Skyclave Apparition, and then have the consistency of generating those tokens, or then the threats like the Ajani's Pridemate and the Sarah's Ascendant. Helot has not been working out for me, so I cut down to a 1 of. I can see going in and an all-in strategy with Helot, but I think that's more of a strategy on the lines of going all in on Soul Sisters, Daxos, Curator, those type of cards to gain those life, maybe some more of the lifelink cards, and going that route. So we might end up having to just bite the bullet and be one or the other, be either No Catcher's Monument deck or be a Soul Sisters deck, but I'm going to try that kind of healthy balance between the two. I think Catcher's Monument is still going into blue. Like, there's a lot of blue and white creatures that you can run, like Reflector Mage. I'm not sure if Reflector Mage is in Historic at the moment or not, but there are some other cards that gain a lot of draw cards and do work off of Catcher's Monument as well. So anyway, we'll be looking into that from time to time for Oketra's Monument. All right, so the 1-drops are basically Ranger targets. Soul Warden is going to gain you a lot of life. Sarah's Ascendant, it always threatens to be big. It's very easy to get up to 30 life in this format. Same thing with the Speaker of Heavens. It's a card that then can create 4/4 white angel creature tokens. So it's something that I think is worthwhile putting in the deck. We have a Ajani's Pridemate, which has a 1/2 punch with the Soul Warden. Much worse without 7 or 8 Soul Wardens or Soul Sisters, but it's still a pretty decent card. We have the Aviary Mechanic, which is also a pretty decent card, with being able to have that combo of cycling through. But not only that, but it can return other creatures to its hand. I'm wondering if going back in Historic, if we do have like the cat that does it better than this one with Flash. I'll have to check my lists again. If you do know any cards in Historic that could go in this deck, definitely comment in the comments section below. Again, I'm just shuffling together my Modern deck and my Catcher's Monument from Modern and Pioneer, and trying to make a deck together. Charming Prince, really good card in this deck. It's going to scry, gain life, or exile a creature card. It does everything that this deck wants to do to get to that either pivotal point for the Sarah Ascendant, or to scry for a threat, or to exile like a Skyclave Apparition and bring it back. Militia Bugler, where I talked about it, can grab basically everything in this deck. We're a Lurrus deck. Definitely, we do want a 1 of Lurrus, which allows you to then cast those 1s and 2-drops back from your graveyard. Very good with like Charming Princes and whatnot. I think it's worthwhile to put a Lurrus in the deck. And Catcher's Monument can reduce the cost of all the cards, and you're going to get a lot of advantage out of creating those 1/1 white tokens with the not only the gain life with the Soul Warden, but something like the Sheffet Dunes that can give all creatures +1/+1, or the Angel of Invention that can give all your creatures +1/+1 as well. Legion Angel is pretty neat in this deck. It's just run a 1 of. I think it's worth its slot with just a 1 of to grab 3 out of your sideboard. Works really good on curve with Catcher's Monument, where you can cast it and then have a lot of value. Thraben Inspector is another card that I'm thinking about putting in this deck. Again, if I think we go into the Thraben Inspector route, though, it's cutting the Soul Warden, cutting the Sarah's Ascendant, and going into more of the heavy build with the Catcher's Monument, and having Thraben Inspector just play like a chump blocker role as well as a draw card. So there you have it, just running a Castle Ardenvale here. I think we talked about the Legion Landing. If not, this card's always a pet card of mine to run a 1 of. It also has some pretty good synergies with the Aviary Mechanic to bounce back the Legion's Landing. This is another card I would go higher up with the counts if I was not going like the Soul Sisters route. But again, it still does have the synergy with the 1/2 punch with the Ajani's Pridemate. Sideboard is where this deck does get quite interesting, because there are a lot of cards that do take care of some of the premier strategies in the format. Giant Killers are great things to tutor up against big decks that are running like Cleaves or other all-in strategies that are trying to get a big creature out. 2 of them in the sideboard I think is great. Apostle the Purifying Light. I used to have more of these in here, but I really think the Rest in Peace deserves this slot. It's really good with the Militia Bugler can find it. So it's almost like running 5 copies in your deck with the Militia Buglers. It does have protection from black, which is super strong in this format. Other than it, I don't think it's as necessary Protection of Black is neat to have versus some of the heavier black control decks, and the exile target card from a graveyard comes in handy against many of the decks that try to utilize the graveyard, like the Kethis combo and whatnot. But Rest in Peace. Rest in Peace is awesome in this format. It takes care of Euros. It takes care of... We don't really utilize our graveyard, so just with Lurrus is all. So Rest in Peace is just a one-sided exile the graveyards, and then basically you have the protection against all of the graveyard-based strategies. Archon of Emery is another one against the decks that are casting multiple spells. It's kind of a nombo in this deck because we typically like to cast more than one spell per turn, but it does come in versus the decks that absolutely want to cast multiple spells per turn. It does feel like you have 5 in the deck because of the Militia Bugler as well. Then we have the 3 Legion Angels that have to be in the sideboard. 2 Settle the Wreckage. I decided to put Settle the Wreckage in here to give me some sort of way to deal with some of these decks that are protecting their creatures. So really just the Lurrus Enchantment deck. It's a blowout versus Lurrus Enchantment when they put it all on one creature and attack in and you get rid of everything. It doesn't get rid of the enchantments, though, but it does get rid of some of the premier creatures at that point. And then same thing, Helo's Intervention. This one plays double role. There are plenty of artifact decks and enchantment decks, and then gaining twice your life can actually get you up to that point with the Sarah's Ascended. I've utilized this card already to get up to that 30 and then swinging for lethal with Sarah's Ascendant. So I like this deck because it's a problem-solving deck. You're really putting yourself in a position to outplay and out-problem-solve what your opponent is trying to do. So that is where we got. Let's go ahead and play some historic matchups here. With the Soul Sisters, I'll play a few of them again. One of these days I'll have more time to actually play some more Arena, but for now, I think that we are going to just do a couple games and call it good, and I'll just keep focused on giving it at least 1 brew per week. Alrighty, so we will opt to play first, of course, and this is a very acceptable hand with Soul Word and Sword and Johnny's Pridemate. This is where we're on more of the Soul Sisters line than we are on the Oketra's Monument. This is actually going to come in handy, though. We'll go Plains, Soul Warden. That gives the Castle Ardenvale next turn. For a Johnny's Pridemate, and a Johnny's Pridemate with a 3/3. So Stitcher's Suppliers can be a graveyard-based deck. Our sideboard is definitely going to come in handy. Against it, gets a Fiend Artisan, which is one of the cards they wanted to utilize. Let's go ahead and go the Castle Ardenvale and go the Pridemate. And we have a 3/3 on board. Definitely not going to attack in. My opponent wants me to do that with this Stitcher's Supplier. Skyclave is going to be super good in this matchup as well. I'm thinking this is just going to be a black value-based deck. They might have a combo in here with the Fiend Artisan. Yeah, they probably do have a combo with the Fiend Artisan to then utilize the graveyard. We've only seen Swamps so far, so it does appear to be a mono-black deck. So Phyrexian Tower, that's actually legal, huh? There's some crazy cards. Okay, this is probably going to be... Is this going to be my Marionette Master combo deck? That is going to be cute because I was going to actually go this route. Let's just go ahead and take care of that gate and call it good. And that way it just really messes up my opponent's strategy because I do think this is a Marionette Master combo, which I wanted to build. It was between this and Soul Sisters, but I thought I'd go a little more historic as far as the channel is concerned and go on the route of... And this is exactly how I was thinking of building it. Stitcher's Supplier and the other zombie that mills. And then something like, something a Woe Strider creating those artifacts would be good. And then still have the Metalwork Colossus route. So opponent has the Woe Strider. I don't know if we want to go the Oketra's Monument here for a big play the following turn. I think that's fine. Yeah, Phyrexian Tower, that's very interesting because that's something that can help ramp up to just hard casting the Gate to the Afterlife target. I just said it, the God Pharaoh's Gift. So we're going to attack in with both. We don't care about the Skyclave dying. If my opponent wants to kill it with the Woe Strider, I'm fine with that. The reasoning for that is it sets my opponent back with having to exile cards, and it's converted mana cost 5 at that point from getting the Woe Strider back. So I'm definitely okay with this if they were to trade it. So a Castle Lochtwain with a Ravenous Chupacabra going for the Pridemate, I would assume. Yeah, you've done your job, Mr. Pridemate. We can actually get it back with Aluris, so I am okay with that. Kind of a neat little interaction, too. Maybe they're not going the Marionette Master combo. Maybe they're just getting a lot of value off of Godpharaoh's Gift. Maybe they have even something else like, I mean, I guess like putting Rankles in the graveyard isn't too terrible. I definitely think if you are going black and Godpharaoh's Gift, though, the Marionette combo is just, it's just a given at that point, at least a one of. All right, I guess Plains was actually a pretty good draw here because it allows us to do Heliod and Luris if I wanted to, but I think still the better play is just Luris. So we're going to go Soul Warden and then Luris and then a Johnny's Pridemate. I think that gives us a better outlook here. And then, yep, Luris. And then Senior Pridemate is going to be recast, and we are in just super good position here with the amount of card draw, or not card draw, the amount of tokens we have out. I might actually just opt to make this trade. It gives a 3/3 with the Skyclave. No, I'm not going to trade with the Skyclave. No attacks. We got the Sheffet Dunes that can just take over the game. So no, we have no dead draws. A land allows us to go into Sheffet Dunes with could be a possible lethal. 2 blockers, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 exactly without a creature here with a Sheffet Dunes. Opponent needs like another. All right, that was probably perfect for my opponent because they get another blocker with the Lazotep Reaver. So what is Godpharaoh's Gift bringing back? Maybe they're bringing back even like a... There's got to be a card that does a lot of damage based upon creatures entering the battlefield. This will give us more information for game number 2. Rest in Peace is just going to wreck this deck, though we also have the Apostle that's going to do really well. So there's the Godpharaohs and Priests of Forgotten Gods for added control. Yeah, we're in great shape. All right, so we did get the land. Unfortunately, I don't think we actually can go the route that I wanted to go. We don't really... Well, we could really put my opponent under some pressure, but I think we're just going to go Heliod. And I think I'm going to go on the... I'm just going to go on Luris here. And then... Attacking with Luris? Will my opponent trade? I guess I should have put it on like a token. Yeah, we're just going to go on with the... Stitcher Supplier. Opponent's just going to sack it. So do we get Wombo comboed somehow? Keeps it on top, so I got to assume it's a gate to the afterlife. On top. A Choop, huh? Onto Luris, I assume. Yeah, I gotta go into Luris here. So let's go ahead and just spread a 2/2, a 2/2, a 2/2. Yeah, let's just spread it on to creatures. So destroys Luris, which is pretty reasonable. And nothing to do with lifelink here. So didn't want to see another land. So sack, sack, sack. I think we just swing in with everything. Got to put my opponent under a lot of pressure here. So got to think a block is coming on a Pridemate with the 1/1. The Laza Preeper will probably go on Heliod, I would assume. Yeah, that's exactly where I thought it was going to go. So we can protect that Soul Warden. I don't think we can protect both Soul Wardens, unfortunately. But we do kill both Chupacabras, which... Alright, so Castle Ardenvale happens. Which creates a 1-1. Which then puts counters on... I think we're just going to... Wait, do I have lethal here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not quite, because there's a blocker. So I think I'm going to just keep one of my Soul Wardens alive. Yeah, I think that's the smart play. This opponent's going to get some scries here. I think that they need to go Gate to the Afterlife or bust, but what does Gate even get back? I don't see any, like, game-ending combo at the moment. I think it's just a pretty good value deck that is trying to get lots of value off of Chupacabras coming back. Like, what are they running? Like, Noxious Gearhulks, maybe? Yeah, see, Lurrus just seems even more value here. And we're just going to spread around the love. Make it as difficult as possible for my opponent to block. Oh, I only get one there. That's true because it killed the other Soul Warden. It's possible I shouldn't have attacked him with my Soul Warden. I'm going to recast something this turn, which is probably going to be a Lazotep Reaver. Yep, but it allows me to spread the love around again on to 2 creatures being 2/2s. So is my opponent going to be able to block enough is the $1 million question. So they're basically effectively at 8 life with the lifelink off of Lurrus. And I don't... So 8 life, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we just chef it Dunes here. Because that is going to be enough. We have Pride Mate here to put it on a creature like we'll put on the Apparition. Don't think that actually does anything. And put it on another 1/1. And then attack it with everything. And that should be enough if I math right. And opponent's also just would lose anything if not, but it's lethal because we have 7, 8, 9, 10 going through. 11, 12, 13 going through, correct? Yeah, I think you're dead, dude. Yeah, 9 right there is enough. Just those tokens that are getting through in the middle. 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, dude. I don't know what's at the point to drag out this game. Just going to show what you could have got. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. And we'll go on to game 2 where Rest in Peace is going to be an absolute house. Like, for what I'm looking at, I don't even think that Rest in Peace is necessary. If it wasn't just so backbreaking versus what my opponent is trying to do, I would say we wouldn't even need Rest in Peace. Nothing else is necessary here. We can get rid of... We can, like, cut cards that aren't going to further our game plan. It's like Angel Invention I don't think is necessary. We just need to grind out our opponent. Heliod did wonders there, but I actually don't like Heliod in this matchup. I would like to have something that's going to get me towards cards that are just going to shut down my opponent, because we are going to win this matchup without like a Heliod. So the same can be said for like a Speaker of the Heavens. Speaker of the Heavens is also a card that I'm not too keen on. I'm also thinking that Sarah's Ascendant is a card that is not necessary. I'm going to keep in a one over the life's bounty as an option, and then call this good. I don't think we need like a giant killer. I didn't see a card. We saw our opponents like the majority of my opponent's deck, and didn't see anything that we had to answer. So the name of the game for this particular matchup is going to be value, 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 and this is the best way to result in the most value. We have a great matchup versus this. The Rest in Peace puts us over the top. Barring any like terrible mulligans or just really, really bad draws, we should be able to stabilize and then start to outgrind our opponent. I don't know if my opponent can really deal with O'Ketcher's Monuments. Yeah, I think we are fine. Double Castle Ardenvale is very, very weird, but we do have the Rest in Peace opening hand. So, and it's no Thoughtseize to take it out. And we'll put the Castle Ardenvale, unfortunately, into play tapped. Derpa derpa. Cryptbreaker is interesting. Maybe they have some sort of wombo combo with here. It makes a zombie and a zombie. They can draw a card with Cryptbreaker, which is which I'm expecting them to do. That was a terrible draw as well. We'll get out a life's bounty. And I don't know. I need a land. Well, we will definitely go. We don't have to like throw out this. All right, Gate to the Afterlife definitely changes my mind here. Do I have another turn for Rest in Peace? So sacrifice it. You can get it on the battlefield. I really don't see my opponent getting there with. So Charming Prince can just get a land. I think Charming Prince is fine. People might disagree with this play. I could get, the Rest in Peace. This is my opportunity to slam a Rest in Peace. But if they had a Thoughtseize, they would have used it. So we're going to scry 2, throw everything but lands on the bottom. And I want 2 lands. We'll even throw this other Charming Prince on the bottom, because I want to hit lands and more lands. And not going to attack. And of course, with the Life's Bounty, opponent gets to draw another card. They possibly could fill up with like the perfect. So Woe Strider, no. They have to have the 2 mana to activate. So they need like a Thoughtseize off of the 2 draws that they've got. So Stitcher's Supplier is going to throw just a massacre. Okay, so they're going Massacre Worm in here, because they need 5 creatures in the graveyard, and then the Fiend Artisan, and yeah. So Rest in Peace is going to do a number. So this turn it is going to be Rest in Peace. So Gate to the Afterlife is basically dead after this Rest in Peace. Woe Strider goes away as well. So we got a lot of value. The Fiend Artisan goes down to a 1/1. Opponent's going to be able to draw a lot of cards off of Cryptbreaker, but we've stabilized now with the... Hopefully we can get a land drop with O'Ketcher's Monument, and then O'Ketcher's Monument can then be played and then cast an Aviary Mechanic, which can throw back a Charming Prince. And if that's the case, we're fine. So, it's my turn. Didn't even notice that. I need to click next there. No attacks, end the turn. Cool artwork on this Rest in Peace, too. I like how they do this. I wish they do this in real life rather than just do these sets for like online only, where they do what they call these remastered sets. That's what I think they should have done for Zendikar. They should have remastered Zendikar and put in a bunch of cards that worked with the theme of Zendikar instead of those set boosters. But who am I? I am just a lonely YouTuber, or lowly, one of the two. I still have to worry a lot, like subsequent Massacre Worms are quite the issue, because Massacre Worm states that a creature's opponent's control, so it can be a one-sided blowout. So is this a troll? Are they trying to go the troll? I wonder if they're trying to go a Troll Massacre Worm combo. There's a standard deck right now that does it. So Stitchers is just a dead card. And I don't know why my opponent's even playing Stitchers. I'll probably draw more cards, but there goes a Castle Lochtwain. I think that we take care of Fiend Artisan. With the Skyclave Apparition. I actually think that's going to be the play. Like, it's kind of sixes between the Crypt Breaker and the Fiend Artisan, but I actually do believe that we go Skyclave Apparition, kill the Fiend Artisan, then it can't start tutoring. A 3-mana spell. Let's see what the 3-mana spell is. Opponent had to sacrifice a... Oh, it's just a token. Because the other Massacre Worms are going to be an issue. Another Reaver. Okay, that definitely makes the play for me because my opponent is kind of needing to find the right cards. Did not hit a land, hit another Ketras. Yeah, I don't think I have a turn to really do this. We need to do it now. Take care of the Fiend Artisan. No attacks here. We have opponent drawing another card. And yeah, that's how we're going to lose, unfortunately. Because that's 6 life as well. We just need to hit those land draw. And the castle, so the Castle Ardenvale's with the, now it's being a kind of a jerk here. We're still going to go Catcher's Monument. Because we need to do the mechanic. Just to put out a blocker. And not going to throw anything back because we hit a land drop there. Massacre Worm, we can chump block. We can block on something else. I'm still going to be alive for a turn, I believe. But I don't know that we're going to be able to come back from this. So, I mean, this goes here, of course. This goes here. I lose quite a bit of life. Or 2 more life, actually. From the no, Massacre Worm only happens when it comes into play. No, whenever creature opponent dies, I lose life. So Crypt Breaker coming back with a Woe Strider. Yeah, I do not believe we're going to have enough mana here. That first turn Crypt Breaker also was just really clutch. Now we're drawing the lands, but it's just a little too late. We'll go Chef at Dunes. Bugler. Look at the Bugler hit here, too. Oh, no. No. I'm shutting down the Massacre Room with the Rest in Peace. That's correct. That's why I didn't just die instantly here. So I am getting good chump blockers. So Militia Bugler, I'd like to find like a Soul Sister. Oh, an Apparition. What is the better play, though? I believe it's the Apparition. And just Apparition on the Crypt Breaker again. Now I have enough blockers. Do I have enough blockers? Yeah, I have enough blockers. There's my opponent's draw outlet. They still have the Castle Lochtwain. They have a lot of scries. Another Massacre Room is just GG. But that's 2 gone. And definitely will make these trades. So here, as well as the mechanic, will make the blocks. We lose no life because that beautiful Rest in Peace. Casting another Woe Stride, I mean, it was pointless to just sack it, though. And Castle Lochtwain going to draw a card. So Lurrus is actually not bad because of the life gain. So we have a Legion Angel. We're just dead to that third and fourth Mask Worm, unfortunately. Lurrus is kind of an on-bow, but again, that lifelink is super clutch. And there it is. Okie dokie. So Mask Room gets us, not quite sure if we want to bring in the... Yeah, okay, so this does make Heliod a lot better. This also makes Settle the Wreckage a lot better. Do I care about Settle, though? Like, Angel Invention gets so much better if I fabricate it, but I'm also thinking my opponent has answers for it. We also have Giant Killer, but that's not going to be a thing. I think that we're going to just stick it as usual. Just call it good. I don't know, maybe putting in Heliod is the right play, because a Soul Sister plus Heliod is going to be a winning combo, with my opponent then throwing out all those things that generate 1/1. So that hindsight, I should put Heliod in. I think this is fine. Like, we're still on that play of dying to Massacre Worm. Yeah, Massacre Worm actually is a pretty good clutch card versus us. I think this is always good because Militia Bugler can find us some pretty good cards. Should have taken Luris out and put in Heliod. So no first turn play by my opponent, which is great. No Thoughtseize, no. So Fatal Push, that's fine. Yeah, I'd rather have my opponent waste a card on my creature than actually establishing a board state. All right, so we're going to go Ranger and get double Soul Sisters here. Opponent should take Ranger. So there's the Thoughtseize. Again, a card for card is fine. Gotta get rid of that Crypt Breaker. Militia Bugler can find the answer to that, though. Crypt Breaker was the big play last time around. So we'll go Bugler. Gets a 1/1. Yeah, Massacre Worm is super good versus us. Charming Prince. Let's go Bugler again. Utilize our mana. And, Mechanic. Mechanic's good here. It returns back the Prince. Man, I'm looking at Artie Massacre Worm, huh? There's a Chef at Dunes. That's going to help us. I'm not going to play it right now, though. We're just going to get in here for the damage. Thin out our deck to try to find that Rest in Peace. That's fine if my opponent wants to discard a card for a zombie to take care of a token. I'm perfectly fine with that. Also utilizes the mana. Wasn't able to put a creature in the graveyard, though. So, let's go Charming Prince. We need to find that Skyclave. Exile the Militia Bugler. Let's see if there's a no fatal push to get that. We'll go Mechanic. And Mechanic is going to return Mr. Bugler. Interesting card here. I think we have to play it. So, unfortunately, it's a blowout to Massacre Worm. But we'll have two blockers left. But that's a lot of life. And if they have it, they have it. And that's just the reality of life. And unfortunately, still didn't find what we needed. So we'll get another Bugler. I can go for lethal if my opponent does not have a Massacre Worm. They do have the mana for it because 2, 3, yeah, there is the mana for a Massacre Worm. Is what it is if opponent has it. It's just good luck on my opponent having an opening hand plus the right sequence to actually play the mana. Yeah, it is what it is. So, can we come back from this? Can we come back from this? I don't think I'm going to be able to because of the Masker Worm. I probably should have held off playing that Soul Warden in hindsight. That was a pretty bad play on my part. Because we could get there. Apparition just doesn't do it. And I think that's going to be game. Because no matter how we block the Masker Worm, we just die. And Apparition actually can't take care of. Yep. So what can we do with Bugler? No, Bugler can't do it. Oh, there's one, the Apostle. So Soul Warden, unfortunately, was one away. It's going to come out, and then... So we actually lose that one, but it had to be the Masker Worm. That was just a natural one, too. Just found the Masker Worm with the Phyrexian Tower. Had to be Phyrexian Tower and Masker Worm for that scenario to play out. I kind of miffed that, though, because we would have gone Soul Warden and didn't play Soul Warden. I just got way too ahead of myself. If we didn't play Soul Warden, we could have played Soul Warden, and then we would have been able to run out the cards the next turn. The Soul Warden would have gained us a life. Then the Militia Bugler would have found us another card. We would have been up to 3 life. We would have a chump blocker. And at that point, I think it's anyone's game, especially if the Skyclave then takes care of the Fiend Artisan. So no one really to blame but myself for losing that game. We did have an out, though, of grabbing one more card would have found us, or if we had found the 2-1 protection from black. But again, it is what it is. I would like a rematch with that one for sure. That Masker is just so good versus us. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Heliod also. Heliod going in would have been a clutch card. Luris going out. Even now that I'm thinking even in hindsight with that, Settled Wreckage in. Both the Settled Wreckages could have come in as well, because that's also something my opponent is going to have to attack with those Masker Worms. And then Settled Wreckage just eats them up. And then they're gone. Once they're gone out of the game, I don't think there's a way my opponent can win without Masker Worm. So, let's have Masker Girl. What is up with this double Castle Ardenvale? Even before this video, too, it gave me a two-hander Castle Ardenvale. I'm going to keep it because I'm on the play, but I'm not too happy with this. And still really not happy with that Oketcher's Monument. Best case scenario is a Plains here. Treasure Map. Okay, it's going to be a very grindy matchup. Ugh. Stupid Castle Ardenvales. Clifftop. Hey, how about a third Castle Ardenvale? Why not? And now it's going to find us Plains, and Plains. I still do want a Plains, though. I'm not going to complain about a Plains. Both of those are fine. I got another Charming Prince, but Charming Prince is just super, super good with this hand, so we're going to keep it. So Revitalize, going to gain 3 life. Opponent's going to scry with a Treasure Map. Feeling like this is some sort of Ugin deck. Just a big red-white control deck to go into Ugin. So, we go Plains. We can go Catcher's Monument. And then at this point, it's going to be Charming Prince. And then I can scry 2. And both of those are good. Bugler guarantees I find a Charming Prince. That's fine. But my opponent's going to be able to get a treasure map with treasures. And see what shenanigans happens this turn. You could have made the argument that I Skyclave Apparition the treasure map. Haphazard Bombardment, huh? Putting aim counters on my stuff, huh? Gonna kill lands. I'm not sure you're gonna be able to get the. I'm have a huge reduction here with. I still want Charming Prince so I can find more lands over the Pridemate. So we're just gonna continue to scry and put the heel out on the bottom. I want to make sure I have another land to play with rather than exiling my Militia Bugler and getting some more value off that way. I have plenty of ammo in my hand. So my opponent needs a board wipe. So what does the bombardment do? 2 or more permanents you don't control have aim counters on them to destroy one of those permanents. So well, I can kill. Two or more don't. Cleansing Nova. All right, so we've been cleansed. And another Castle Ardenvale dies. But we get Bugler. Which gives us a 1/1. And let's see here. I don't want to go Speaker of the Heavens. I think we just go a Mechanic. Bounce back the Ardenvale. That way it doesn't kill this one. Now it hurts again not being able to get the Militia Bugler, but I don't want more permanents to die. Opponent's got a lot of lands. Okay. Well, gonna destroy all those with Star of Extinction. We'll go Plains here. I guess we just pump both of these out. Didn't have a Stuffy Doll or Boros Reckoner to do Star of Extinction to. A land destruction deck, huh? Well then. I guess we'll just keep doing this. Apparition is kind of bad just to run out on nothing. So it's all removal and haphazard bombardment. Where's your win con? Yeah, Monument kind of sucks here. Can't take care of it with the Skyclave. And Immortal Sun too, so whenever you draw a card. Yeah, this is getting kind of hazy for us. Because you draw an additional. My opponent found the perfect amount of sequence of cards again. Ugh. Again, maybe the argument would have been treasure, killing the treasure map. I mean, that's fine. You can definitely do that. I can't generate a mana here, so it's fine. Revitalize is going to draw cards. Revitalize. Land. I can't cast another Ixalan Binding. There's no way for me to destroy it. Well, we're coming back. Sort of. Another Apparition, which is not that great versus my opponent's deck. So Apparition will most likely come out. They're just trying to really stabilize. And Heliod's another haphazard bombardment. Yuck. Okay. Hopefully it kills one of my creatures here. Alright, kills the weak one. Oh, there's 2 of them! Ugh, that is terrible. So both of these lands now die, too, from the bombardment. Fountain of Renewal. Still have yet to see a win con, though. I'm still... No, it wouldn't be an Ugin. Okay, cool. So we're going to be left with 2 lands. And pass the turn. Thematic Compass. Okay. At least we've seen some pretty interesting decks here in Historic rather than kind of the wombo combo decks. Get a Legion's Landing out. Might as well cast it. Archer Raska's still not a win con. Maybe just the land that then they can animate? Okay. There's the third one. Excellent. Binding on a Legion Landing. Man, that's the most pathetic card ever, but I guess I sure do. You do you. Gotta have a win con. Compass is not a win con. Like, if I go Plains... Okay, so Plains and Mechanic allows me to get back in Ardenvale, but I don't know if it does anything. We'll just do it anyway. Just to get that counter off of it. So I'll keep playing this out till they show me the win con. And we're at 21 life, too. So there's a Memorial... Okay, Memorial War. This is land destruction, but... Devin Clarion, sure. And pure removal. So I'm just going to not play lands until I'm at 4. Until my opponent starts discarding cards. I don't know. I just don't even play lands, I don't think. There's the win con. Okay. So we got the Soul Warden, which is going to help mitigate a little bit of damage. Becomes a 4-2 with the Immortal Sun. 8 turns left for my opponent. Thematic Compass, if they actually activate it, it's going to be worse. So it's going to be an Outlaw's Merriment, which I can't take with a... Yeah, I can with Skyclave Apparitions. So maybe Skyclaves do stay in. Well, this is interesting. Because it's going to be a 4-4. Lifelink was probably the best one possible. Gotta think they have another Outlaw's Merriment. No blocks. If we get one more land, we get to kill the Outlaw's Merriment. Ay, ay, ay. So, I wanted actually to kill my soul. Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Oh, it kills both of them. Yep. Ay, ay, ay. All of them. All of my lands get killed. Pass the turn. Can they kill me in 7 turns is the question. Okay, that allows my opponent to attack in with this one. Yeah, I don't think I can quite make it there. I think I have to trade now. $12 versus 6. Yep. So far, I've only seen one Outlaw Merriment, so Skyclaves is kind of interesting to keep in or not. Yeah, I'm dead in one more turn. Opponent barely pulls it off to get enough damage through. Yeah, Rest in Peace is bad, so the Wreckage, of course, is bad. everything is good here. I don't think that we do anything but put in Helad's Interventions. And then 2 Skyclave Apparitions go out. Because none of these cards are going to be cards that are going to be useful in this matchup. Opponent also already has basically the... It's funny how we're going up with these Massacre Worm decks and and now like a all removal deck. They would just get absolutely obliterated by like the combo deck and any sort of non creature based deck, which historically is number 1 and number 2 decks at the moment. There is a Goblin combo deck though that's up there, but it's still pretty funny. That is our luck. Opponent going to put even more removal. How can they go more than Deafening Clarions and whatnot? Yeah, we match up terrible, too. I don't really know if I can get up high enough before the... removal starts hitting. Good news is, like, Deafening Clarion. No, yeah, we can't really give... I cut the cards that give Indestructible to a creature. I don't think there's a way to beat this. Alrighty, so, I mean, we have the 1/2 drop. It's kind of awkward. We need a land right off the bat, but you keep these hands with Soul Sisters. Found Renewal's fine. Okay, I think we might get there with this. We have the Monument. Opponent needs to take care of the Soul Warden ASAP. Compass isn't going to do it. It's kind of slow. That's a good card, too, if we hit a land off the next turn. But now Deafening Clarion is so bad, though, if my opponent has it, because we couldn't get up to 4/4. Possibly Aviary Mechanic was the right play there, but it's just too tempting. Okay, missed it. With the... so close with this. Every mechanic's weird. I definitely want the mechanic. The problem is that I just bounce the Soul Warden and get another one, but it doesn't really do much. Should have done that after. Derp. I should have done that after the attack. So if I lose by 1, I have no one to blame myself. Next turn, though, I do win with like an Angel of Invention, I believe. Clarion comes down. Okay, Clarion comes down. I got a 5/2. Oh, Lurrus is perfect here. So, Mechanic can actually get everything out. Okay. No, I think we're going to go Soul Warden. Yeah, watch me... Oh, no, it'll go up to 2. But if I lose this by 1... Let's see. Wrath of God does exist in this format. I wonder if even Lurrus was the right play. All right, we're going on to a game 3, and my opponent got stuck on lands. Ay. There's just really no way I think I can deal with this. Like, Skyclave Apparitions actually seem a little bit better versus Compasses and whatnot. But, I mean, what would I take out? What's, like, super slow? Like, cards like Legion Angel help us get back in it. Lurrus helps us get back in it. Daxos, there we go. Probably, no, Daxos could survive. No, it couldn't. Daxos is awkward. I think Daxos is super awkward. Speaker of the Heavens is also awkward. And we'll bring back in the apparitions. Because they can take care of, like, the thematic compasses and the fountains and the treasure maps, which my opponent's playing a ton of, and that actually could set back my opponent because they're not playing or drawing a card off of it, which they might be relying on. Of course, this is a mulligan. This is what it likes to do on these game 3s, and I'm going to keep this one, definitely keep this one, and get rid of the apparition. Yeah, So start off with the plains. And then we will Charming Prince. There's Compass. Now I'm kind of wishing I would have thrown a land away. Let's just do a Ardenvale. Scry. We'll get an Apparition. Oh, can't get our Apparition next turn. Derp. There we go. So Thematic Compass goes and gets a land. I want to stop my opponent from doing this. Yeah, I think I might need to. This also ramps my opponent. So do I have another turn? I think we just go. Not sure if that's the right play, but we have Catcher's Monument into Mechanic the following turn. This could get off a Deafening Clarion right now. Merriment. Okay. Now I definitely want my Skyclave back. So we'll attack in first. And then Mechanic back. The Skyclave. Wish they get a 2-2, sure. Kind of a weird position for the Merriment with some tokens because the first board wipe will destroy their ways away from or one more mana away from the enchantment. We had a Skyclave Apparition on the Outlaw Merriment next turn. Get rid of that and it's done with. Heliod is interesting. No, it's not. This just gets rid of... So they do have a Castle Ardenvale as another win con. And I think the right play here is just going to be the Bugler. And at this point, still Charming Prince to help us find more apparitions, I believe. Revitalize happens. Revitalize happens. Opponent probably should trade with the Mechanic. Yeah. So we would have drawn another Mechanic. We're in pretty decent shape to start bouncing back the... That's fine, though. Binding on, though. Catcher's Monument, I'd assume. What? Oh, so I can't take care of the next ones. Gotcha. Okay. And gets back a 4-4. Well, I think the right play here is going to be Soul Warden, then into Heliod, because this is going to start making our stuff bigger. So at this point, I think it's just still going to be a Charming Prince. Put it on a Soul Warden. And we are going to exile the Militia Bugler. Put it on the Soul Warden. And then I still think we just get in there for damage because this sucker, they're most likely going to get wiped. And now our Soul Warden is above. We want on the Bugler. At this point, do we go for lethal? I think we might. So Haphazard Bombardment's weird. The Star of Extinction is weird because there's still a few lands away from it. Heliod. So we get wiped. I'm feeling bombardment's coming down here. Clarion, okay. Saw that one coming. Probably in a Clarion again. All right, that is interesting. Because we just go for it here. And we're going to fabricate. Puts a lot of pressure on our opponent. Still a land away from Star of Extinction. And kill Angel Invention, but I mean, this is what I wanted to do. At this point, I gotta assume there's a board wipe coming. I'm assuming a board wipe's coming, so I'm just gonna do the blocks with the servos. Possibly that's not the right move. But I don't understand attack otherwise. Yeah, we are correct there. Okay, so we put pressure. Let's get the most information possible with a bugler. And if Soul Warden's just strictly stronger here. And I will go Asera Ascendant. And this will then put a counter on the Bugler, which survives versus the Deafening Clarion now. And I'm going to put one probably on the Sarah Ascendant now. Possibly that's not the right play to just start running things out on a specific turn, but I need to continue to... All right, perfect. Okay. So could have spread that around differently, I assume. But I'm going to give this dude lifelink. Should have cast this guy first, because then we could have got it above Deafening Clarion. Oh, let's see if my opponent can find another board wipe. Sure can. At this point, they're 1-for-1s. This is going to be a good card later on. Okay, that works. I'm going to threaten lethal this turn. Might disagree with that play. I'm sure some people... Oh, no, because we can actually attack him with Heliod now with this play. And now we're threatening lethal again unless there's another board wipe. And we'll have Castle Ardenvales to throw out here to start generating some damage. And we do actually win that one. So opponent couldn't find that last land. I'm sure all the Star of Extinction are in there. I say kind of like a little janky deck. It's not going to do very well in the scope of things because there's so many control decks right now. They are just going to counter everything that deck tries to do with a bunch of 7-drops. Alrighty, we'll play one more today and see if we can go up against a tier deck. And again, I'm looking forward to comments in the comment section below about cards that I might not even realize are in Historic. Because Phyrexian Tower, that's insane. That just really ramps up, does everything you want it to do in with the Marionette Master combo, which I will be doing next week for Historic, so be looking forward to that. Massacre Worm will definitely be in that version as well. Or Massacre Girl. I wonder if what's better, Massacre Worm or Massacre Girl. I think Massacre Worm, Girl is slightly better. All right, let's go ahead and play first. And so risky, but we have the Scryer. This is usually what we want. So we're not doing anything. Let's go Castle Ardvale in case we draw another land and I accidentally play the wrong one. You never want to see that. All right, scry everything away to land. We want 2 lands here. And unfortunately, we like those cards, but they're both getting scryed away because we are digging. So that's bad luck if out of 3 cards we don't get a land, is what it is. This is going to be a Yorion control deck. So it's going to be very similar to the standard one. And we hit it. We did it. We also get the Oketra Monument out, which is going to put us in the position here. What could come out this turn? A disinformation campaign, which we actually don't care about. So, yeah, it's just gonna be Bugler, I believe. Yeah, we'll go another Apparition. This one will get a Charming Prince. Because Charming Prince bounces the Bugler. So a Desert is lethal next turn. 2 force. Yep. No, 1 off, actually. That is the wrong play, I believe, my good sir. So I wonder if my opponent's just putting Yorion in because they can. Oh, because it can be flickered with. Yeah. Oh, man. Thank you for taking the 2 wrong ones. Do I go Soul Warden here? Or does Charming Prince give me more? Well, first of all, we attack. And then we Prince. I think I need to just keep... Oh, actually, I should have actually just played it out because the disinformation campaign is... Oh, no. I should have kept it in my hand. Yeah, because disinformation campaign is coming in. So I'm going to force my opponent to play it. But they're staring down lethal. So this puts my opponent, in a weird position. Play disinformation campaign, die to lethal. Didn't see enough. It's just going to be a discard deck for sure. I'm wondering what they're getting. So Thought Erasure, Thoughtseize deck. So this is where I typically like cards that can recur things from the graveyard. This is where I haven't been able to find, is there Immortal Servitude or Settle the Wreckage? Or not Settle the Wreckage, Secure the Ranks. I don't think there is in the format right now. So what are some other options that could go in the sideboard? For now, though, Rest in Peace I don't think is where we want to be. I didn't see any recursion from the graveyard. We probably want to put in the Helad's Intervention because I do believe we're going to see Disinformation Campaign. We're probably going to see the Scry, which might make it worthwhile with Helad's Intervention. Might not, though. So I don't know if we need to do anything, but maybe Apostle of Purifying Light just because it's an option. And then take out like a weak card, which would be something like the... I don't even know what would be weak here. As they're all pretty strong. Like Skyclave Apparition, I don't know. Yeah, it's still good. I actually don't think we need the Apostle. We're going to keep it as is. I don't really see any changes that makes this a stronger matchup. So Thoughtseize, Thought Erasure is the name of the game with this deck. Disinformation Campaign to get some more value. Yorion to bounce that sort of thing. I'm trying to think what else could be in here. Probably the Trial. The Black Trial, I would assume, would be in here for flicker effect. This is fine-ish. It's actually pretty bad. I don't know if this was a mulligan. So I'm sure like a fatal push on the Johnny's Pridemate. Moment of Craving. So we don't hit a land here, we're in trouble. Womp womp. Opponent can kill this one too, sure. Yep. So far, still a card for a card, but where it's going to get a little bit. Yeah, the Oracle. Okay, the Oracle is getting flickered. All right, so you can have a... Which one do I not want my opponent to have? I think this way. Let's make my opponent think this is a really good card. They should take the 2 cards, yeah. I had to try. Oh boy, well, it's a card. I think we're going to mainly lose this one due to the fact that it's... So Thought Erasure takes Luris. Fatal Push takes Soul Warden. I don't know if I just go to a game 2. Or if we can actually try to... Oh, it's a Demonic Pact to be flickered, huh? Oh my gosh. Mechanic is just terrible here. I'm just going to play it out. It's pretty bad. But name of the game is we missed land drops. I'll get a land drop with the mechanic, though. What if they have a way for me to donate the Demonic Pact to me? Yep, take the Thought Erasure. But I bet there's multiple Yorions or just ways to sacrifice their own Demonic Pact with some other spell. Maybe even bounce it back with another permanent. We just can't get there. We just can't get a land. Probably should attack the mechanic. So this is pointless. Just get rid of our 2 big ones. Should take Luris here. Yorion's come into play. And there we go. That's what I want to see. I think we just snap out Heliod. That's fine. Gets it out of there. I shouldn't have tacked in with the 1/1. I'm just pretty much losing this game. That was a bad attack. See if there's a Thoughts he's coming down for. So Yorion gets to flicker the Demonic Pact. And yeah, my opponent's just going to have a lot of value. And we just got stuck on that too for way too long. So you can have the card underneath this, which you probably will take, but it doesn't even do anything for you. Oh, really? Okay. Took the land, huh? Get rid of the Pact. It's going to do a lot of work. Not sure I can come back from this, though. Mind Stone. Ascendant doesn't do anything. So most likely get countered. Yeah, we're just going to go on to game 2. There's no way. I'm not going to waste my opponent's time drawing cards with Mind Stone in the other one. Rest in Peace does seem... No, there's no reason for it. There's really, yeah, nothing here for me. Possible Purifying Light, I guess, is pretty decent. It's just weird to think what we need to cut over Apostle. Like, Mechanic seems pretty good. Bounty seems pretty good. Speaker has a very, very low chance of actually doing anything, I think, in this game. All right, let's not get stuck on 2 lands. That's what we don't want to happen. I'm okay with getting stuck on 2 lands the first turn as a Legion's Lantern, possibly. How about no lands? How about all lands? I'm going to get rid of the Angel Invention, actually. Yeah, I think I want all these lands. Or we could ditch this. We could ditch a Castle Ardenvale. Shepherd Dunes or Castle... Yeah, Castle Ardenvale. We both mulligan, though, so a little bit fairer. I'd like to see a Pridemate off the top. Thoughtseize is pretty rough. Okay. Yep, gets a Charming Prince. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm wishing I would have kept the land and threw the Angel. But we actually have no more 4-drops. So everything is gas here, I believe. He ought to be a good little draw. Noxious Grasp and a Yorion going away. Okay, there was a dead draw, actually. I lied. We had a Skyclave Apparition. Womp womp. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Sets my opponent back, but if they just hit a land here, I don't know if that does much. Okay, we're getting very lucky now. Fatal Push. So not going to attack with the Skyclave because it gets the Mind Stone. So kill Mind Stone and then I get it back. Okay, good. Made the right play. We get a 2/2 back. We get to hit a Ranger here with no counter magic, which then can just go get, 2 Soul Wardens, I think. So opponent also hit. So my opponent gets stuck on 2. Had to ditch a Yorion. Thoughtseize is fine. Taking the Angel is fine too. I can't really even cast it. Okay, that was a perfect, beautiful draw. With the Catcher's Monument. Allows us to do Charming Prince. Which I don't think there is anything that can do 2 right now with the Ranger. Let's see. It might. My opponent might be able to answer it with a 1-mana spell. I'm trying to think what it could be because Fatal Push doesn't work. No attacks. Ranger comes back into play. Ranger's going to go find us a Soul Ward and another Serra Ascendant. And now I do feel like I'm in the driver's seat. Fatal Push on the Serra Ascendant, sure. Okay. Disinformation Campaign is going to get rid of a Soul Warden. Ugh. Of course, it's that one now. And attacking with, you know what? Attacking with everything. Decides to go on the 1/1. Yeah, then we... Okay, so Ranger dies, down to a 9. Do they have something that can do a board wipe? If they do, sure. We just lose the game. And that's kind of the striking problems we're having with this deck is those massive removal spells. So, yeah, got us there. That's all I have for today. We played 3 games. 2-1's not terrible. Had some, good draws, some bad draws. I do think, though, that this kind of shake-up mix of both of the decks is probably not the right route to go. I think that this deck wants to be more of a a Catcher's Monument deck or a Soul Sisters deck. And I wouldn't mix the two. I think the curves are what we were having the big problems with. And I think that there is probably enough to actually justify going into a Soul Sisters route. Like Catcher's Monument, maybe like one of. You draw it, and it could help reduce things. But you can still synergize a lot of things like going all in on the Legion's Landing. I think we need another card like an Archangel Thune. But if you go all 4 on Helods, you can probably guarantee a Helod is going to be pulled, or at least high chances of a Helod / a Johnny's Pridemate / like even like a 1/1 lifelinker. I think that'd be a route that'd be better to go. And then going to Catcher's Monument, you don't have to go all that kind of shenanigans. There we go. Angelic Ascension. That's the card that I'm actually going to brew around in Standard to see if I can make it work. I'm not sure there's many cards in Standard that gain life and draw cards. I can think of a few, though. Oh, no, not Angelic Ascension. Just scratch that. That is not the card I want to be brewing with. It's kind of cool, though. Exile creature or Planeswalker, its controller creates a 4/4 white angel creature token. You can hit your own cards. That's kind of cool. Maybe I will actually include that card in my deck. But what I'm looking at is the enchantment. Whenever you gain life, you put a 2/2. At the end of your turn, you put a 2/2 Griffin into play. And that way, you can run cards such as there's the artifact that gains a life after it flips. That could be an option because it's drawing you cards and getting you that life gain. There are plenty of green if you go into green to gain life. But I think the main thing with there probably is enough stuff in white to justify it. And then you have the other angel when you get above 27 to start pumping out 4/4s. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, this deck list too. This has been Kevin with the Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.